Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Okay, so after Niantic announced Pokemon Go Fest 2023, a lot of players went and bought their tickets for the various in-person events. In fact, at this moment, it looks like the Osaka in-person event has already sold out. So they are definitely selling tickets right now. And I think there was a lot of backlash regarding a bunch of content creators and influencers buying their tickets, mainly because they were in support of the Hear Us Niantic movement, so naturally, players were really frustrated about that. I'm going to be explaining all of this in today's video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Alright, let's get right into it. So, as a byproduct of the Hear Us Niantic movement, naturally, a lot of people out there are extremely frustrated with Niantic, and they want to boycott the game. And that, of course, includes Pokemon Go Fest of 2023. At least until Niantic responds to the Hear Us Niantic movement, players are really unhappy at the idea of Niantic turning a profit with Pokemon Go. So naturally, if anyone on social media talks about spending money in Pokemon Go, that is going to draw a lot of ire from the Pokemon Go community, especially if they are an influencer or a content creator that was previously supporting the Hear Us Niantic movement. Some of the top creators like Fleece King and Trainer Club, as well as myself, a lot of us are catching a lot of heat from the Pokemon Go community because we are attending Pokemon Go Fest. That means we all spent our hard-earned money on buying tickets for these events, and players are really unhappy about that. Now before I continue, let me tell you that I totally understand why players would be frustrated about this. A lot of us have been preaching about how Niantic needs to change and how they are undeserving of our hard-earned money, and that is of course because of the design decisions that they've been making recently. So it looks really bad on us if we were to go and spend money on a very expensive in-person event and talk about how it should be okay for us to go to these sort of events while also supporting the Hear Us Niantic movement. Yeah, you're totally okay to feel bad about that. But for myself personally, and I know I'm gonna catch a lot of crap for this, but I really do think that for us to go to Pokemon Go Fest, we should have our own reasons for doing so, and we can still support the Hear Us Niantic movement at the same time. As of right now, I've halted any kind of spending in Pokemon Go, and this ticket is really the only thing that I've spent related to Pokemon Go in the last month. And you know, I'm totally okay with that because I still think that we can get some positive changes for Pokemon Go by pushing this Hear Us Niantic movement, but at the same time, we still want to enjoy this game. The reason why I'm involved with the Hear Us Niantic movement in the first place is because I want to see positive changes for Pokemon Go because I love the game so much. And a lot of these other content creators that are getting a lot of backlash, they share in the same sentiment. Like, I can totally understand if someone was completely shilling for Niantic, like they're defending them hardcore, and doesn't matter what they do, they are always going to stand for Niantic. Like, if they go to Pokemon Go Fest, yeah, it makes sense for them to go. But in my opinion, people who are even against Niantic and some of their business practices, if they still want to go to Pokemon Go Fest, then they should be able to go without getting any flack. Like, if you're very unhappy about that and you want to voice those concerns to content creators, then yeah, you should be able to do so in a constructive manner. But to receive death threats and all of these insults and personal jabs, like, I don't think that's the right play. Like, if you want to make a difference with the Hear Us Niantic movement, I've been saying this from the beginning, but you really have to be respectful. And when I say respectful, I mean do not commit to death threats and do not make petty insults. Like, I've caught myself doing this myself. Like, not death threats per se, but like, I've made some petty insults towards Niantic, and I do regret doing that. But at the same time, I do think there are very high passions right now, and a lot of people are really unhappy. But I just feel like you need to take that energy and put it into different things rather than towards specific people. I'm not trying to defend Niantic here or any content creator or influencer that is supporting Niantic financially, but in my opinion, I really think that there's a lot of players out there who are just taking it too far, and I think that's the thing that I do not agree with. Like, okay, I admit, I bought a ticket to Pokemon Go Fest, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that are really unhappy about that, mainly because I've been extremely outspoken against Niantic recently, and I really shouldn't be spending any money in Pokemon Go in any way. But here I am. I bought a very expensive ticket, and that is my way of still supporting Niantic in spite of all of this. And I totally understand that's going to upset a lot of players, but you know, I'm really sorry that you feel that way, but I still want to go to Pokemon Go Fest. Like, it's the one event out of the year that I really look forward to going. I mean, if it's any kind of compensation, like last year I skipped out on Pokemon Go Fest in protest, and, you know, I kind of regretted it. Like, yes, I was not happy with some of the design decisions that Niantic was making last year, so I chose not to go to any of the in-person events. And you know, I look back at it and I kind of wish I still went because, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, Niantic did not change, or they did not implement the changes that I wanted, and I missed out on a very nice event. So yeah, that's kind of the lesson that I'm applying this time around. I do want to see positive changes happen to Pokemon Go. Like, I do want them to revert the remote raid pass changes, but at the same time, I do not want to miss out on some of the events that are going to be happening. I mean, for all I know, it could be a buggy mess when we get there, like how it was with the Hoenn Tour event in Las Vegas. But regardless of the fact, I still want to meet up with other content creators and just have a good time. So yeah, I think this was just my way of doing that. I think the best way to put into words like what I'm thinking right now is this tweet from J. Kim. You hate someone who throws a really good party. You still go to the party, but you can still hate that person. Look, ultimately, we can all agree that at the very least, Niantic needs to improve as a game studio. I really think they haven't been handling Pokemon Go well at all, and I really think that Pokemon Go Fest is a great opportunity for them to kind of bounce back and get back into the Pokemon Go community's good graces. But it's really going to depend on how flawless this event ends up being and if there is good content around it. As I said in a previous video, it's currently suspect whether or not the ticket is even worth it, considering that you're only getting half the duration of a typical Go Fest or Go Tour event. So, you know, you may end up not getting your money's worth anyway, and for the people who did buy their tickets, they could end up being the suckers in this whole situation. I guess my point in this video is that if you're really unhappy about Niantic and you really want to see some positive changes to Pokemon Go, just find a good avenue for you to release that energy into rather than just attacking specific players. Because people like me, people like Fleece King, and people like the Trainer Club, like, we all want to enjoy Pokemon Go. Like, we dedicate a lot of our time and a lot of our energy to this one game, and we want to see it flourish and we want to see it succeed. So a lot of us have been really outspoken when it comes to the Hear Us Niantic movement, and we strongly believe in that cause. But at the same time, we do not want to miss out on a landmark Pokemon Go event. And that really comes from the passion for Pokemon Go that we have, not necessarily because we want to support Niantic. So I just wanted to set the record straight. I just really hope that Niantic changes their ways, because as of right now, they're creating a lot of division and a lot of animosity within the Pokemon Go community. People are just up at arms I mean, there's swaths of community members that are just at odds with each other, and it's just really depressing to see, because as of right now, Pokemon Go is just fractured. Like, there's players on both sides that are just being extremely toxic towards each other. Like, I see people who are displaying a lot of toxicity towards people who support the Hear Us Niantic movement. And I really think all of this is the fault of Niantic, because they made some very unpopular decisions and have been radio silent regarding the responses that players have been having. I think because of that, players are extremely unhappy and extremely disgruntled, and they're taking out that energy on each other. So Niantic, if you want to do something about this, if you want to create a positive vibe with Pokemon Go, then you need to at least communicate to us your response to the Hear Us Niantic movement. At this point, I don't even care if you double down on the remote raid pass changes, but at least acknowledge the Pokemon Go community and their concerns, and show that you actually care when we provide feedback, because as of right now, it really seems like you do not care at all about the Pokemon Go community. I mean, a lot of the last interviews that I've seen from Pokemon Go employees and John Hanke, it's just a lot of positive marketing platitudes that, you know, it's stuff that they should say to make Pokemon Go look good. But I don't see anything that really connects with the Pokemon Go community on a personal level. There was some spiel about Singaporean grandmas that I'm pretty sure a lot of you are fully aware of, but that really does nothing for the community at large. not everyone is a Singaporean grandma, and I think Niantic employees have failed to realize that. Something like that will look really good to a non-Pokemon Go player. It shows that, oh, Niantic is trying to make the game accessible to everyone, but in reality, they're completely neglecting their own community, and it's just not a good look. So yeah, these are just all of my thoughts regarding this entire situation. I also wanted to talk about the Cleavor Raid Day that was just announced, but as of right now, because of all the negativity that we're all feeling towards Niantic, it's really hard for me to feel excited about any kind of in-game announcement that they make. Like, outside of Pokemon Go Fest, there's just nothing I'm really excited about with Pokemon Go as of late. So yeah, Niantic, you guys have a lot of work to do to bring Pokemon Go back into the light, and I really hope you get there. But I would love to know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Are you really unhappy about content creators and influencers going to Pokemon Go Fest while also supporting the Heroes Niantic movement? Definitely share why down below, because I would love to know the community's thoughts. That's feedback towards me on how I generate my content and how I talk online. So yeah, I would really appreciate it, and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then do consider checking out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go list. So if you want to interact with me in some way within Pokemon Go, then do consider checking out my Patreon and becoming a patron there. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.